Okay. Okay, looks pretty good. Time to win it. Oh, GG. Oh. Well, I guess, you know, an Ashaman that cannot win with an Ashaman, right? Hello. Welcome to the stream.
Have you ever seen or even thought of the combo?
Oh my bro.
Who else would try it if not me, right?
I'm showing it one time.
That is how you win games right now. How are you doing there? This dude will have nightmares today. That was not even close, right?
Top 100. Today we're playing this deck, which is a new recent edition of a BBU Starship DK. And this deck specifically features an Infested Breath, 2 copies that were added to the deck. And the reason for that is that in previous videos I actually noticed that there was one significant problem when it comes to the activation of a Starship at some point. Because you usually have only Orbital Moon for the activation, and it just like might not actually be like, you know, glowing yellow stuff and might not just like give a reborn, and you kind of feel bad when you use it, but you're still like do that because that is like usually the only activation you have, whatever you like you have in mind. And sometimes you have only 2 and you want to use one for like an ancient of yours, something to gain some early like, you know, board advantage, some extra health, some extra draws, and you're kind of like left with only one, and you might actually be able to summon Starship twice, and you might not have enough of the activation for a Starship, right? And the Triple Blood was a little better in this matter because it had 2 Vampiric Bloods added. It was like 2 mana spell that actually does a lot of really good work. It's an extra draw, it's an extra health gain, but the substitution for this is kind of like an Infested Breath, because you might actually get on the board early and stop an early aggression in early game if you draw that, but in a late game, Vampiric Blood is not like something that changes the whole game completely. The only thing that you need it for is kind of like an activator. So Infested Breath actually does that, right? For you, 2 mana, exactly 2 mana spell. It does like whatever that is. The only downside is probably like that it summons 1 extra like minion on the board, and you might be like a little fool on it on that one. But as far as it is, like this deck specifically, I kind of think that is probably one of the strongest lists so far that you can ever find. And the only thing that actually people try out is some kind of like game defining legendary, something like a Gnomalion. I tried that before in Triple Blood, and it felt like that sometimes it's crazy strong, but like usually like in about 80% of the games it's kind of like sticks there. You cannot like even play it because it's a 4/2 for 6 mana. It's kind of like a lot, and provides you a 0 tempo. It's kind of like a reactive card, something like a Corpse Explosion. And at some point, like at one game, we had both of the Pyromancers, both of the Poison Breath, both of the Corpse Explosions, and Gnomalion in our hand, all of the reactive cards in the world, and an opponent just like keeps not playing anything so far. And we're just kind of stuck, and we cannot like even use an Exodar, for example, for a Starship to gain pieces. We cannot just like, you know, do anything because we have tons of drawing cards. And you know, it's kind of like Gnomalia felt like a waste, but you know, it was my kind of like feeling. I know I didn't like play a lot of games with the Gnomalia there, but it was like, you know, something that you have to consider. But as it is for now, if you like if you like what I do here, or if you like all the decks that I try out here, make sure to hit that sub button, and like, share, and comment, and especially comments though, because I read each and every comment that you guys post for the last year or so. So make sure to join the group. But for now, let's jump right in. A Warlock, okay. Well, that's probably another endless deck mill stuff, right? A Kil'jaeden is extremely important against this deck, but it depends on what kind of Warlock that is. If that is a Starship, they might have a Wheel of Death, and the Kil'jaeden is kind of useless at some point. Maybe I should still, like, you know... Nah, it's too early. I still need, like, to throw away some cards. before I actually do that, right? Infested Breath, maybe it's too early. I kind of want my Starship pieces. I guess the Infested Breath is not like something, it's not like an aggressive deck, like on a Warlock side. They're usually like heavy on the tempos these days. They don't really rush you out with minions. Let's see what is up. Durad is pretty cool, but you know, depends on what cards you have. Like if you get if that is a male warlock, no, that is exactly a starship. Oh my, exactly a starship. So how do we do that? Let's get on the board. Considering that is a starship warlock, we need to get on the board here, and I'm really glad that we run 2 Ancient of Yore in this deck, because this one will be heavy zone. Heavy battle so far, and we need to gather our starship pieces first, like if that is possible. Headless Horseman is extremely cool, but you know, let's see what happens here. Let's take something else. Okay, that is nice. Even though that is a huge war right there. That is nice that we got it out, right? And we're kind of like trading here with it. Pretty cool. Ancient of Yore is kind of like safe. But it depends. If you have something like a Dreadhound, kind of screwed here. It's a 50-50, right? Nah, he kills it anyway. You know, nah, Dreadhound is actually real bad. But I hope he does better. Nightmare Lord says, nice. So we actually trade out an Exodar here, which is extremely important. Which is really good, I would say. One of the key cards of his deck. I'm glad we pulling it out. Let's go. Let's start the drawing. We need obviously some Starship pieces. We have a Buccaneer here, at least the first one. Ancient of Yore 5/9, okay. Not too bad. Goes into the trade, no problem whatsoever. We can actually go for Headless Horseman, because why not? We don't really have like a good turn. Let's go with this one. Straight damage for 2 mana. Like a hero power, it's pretty strong. Might just like give us like, an upgraded one too. Like, you know, at some point. We're early in the game. Might just like, you know, draw it early enough for it to be fruitful for us. Fire, okay. Heart of the Legion, Glacier Shard, oh my god. Do we even like, you know, clear here? It feels like we have to. Our clear is like really good. We just destroy everything and don't even like you lose an Ancient of Yore here. By the way, we have an option of a Kil'jaeden. Don't really want that. We don't really have a draw. That is the only thing I am concerned here for, you know. It feels like a corpse explosion is a waste here. Maybe we should just like suck it up. It feels like any board clears is a waste here. Feels like that. Okay, fine. Let me just like go with the guts here, you know. Let's just do this, 50-50, thank you. Kind of want more draws, I would say. I have a lot of those in my deck. Too many, I would say. Sometimes it is just like stuck in your hand without you being able to do anything so far. Unfortunately, kills off this one, so an Orbital Moon is now not a draw yet again. Curse Campaign for extra draw. Glory Freeze. That's weird, he plays out the Searchers this way. Here is an Orbital Moon for us. Yeah. Like, I cannot like actually play anything here. It's just like a 3T body out there. Just like a 3T body out there. Let's do something like this. Turn 8 pass. How about that? Turn 8 pass. Feels good. Slippery slope. Dude, I need draws, come on. He develops, I don't. He develops and I don't. Durham. Okay. Not too bad. Not too bad, I would say. Oh, we can kill those guys, but I'm not sure like I need that though. That is not a strat. Not a strat at all. Not even close, I would say. Cannot even kill it there right here, like efficiently, without like using a location. Can defense crystal, fine. A little more value, I would say, on the board clears that we have. 5 damage here, okay. Well, now we can, you know, we can actually clear the board if we want. The rat didn't get a Kil'jaeden out for us. But at least it got like above the bartender here, it's kind of like the same thing. So many board clears. Like, if we kill that guy, we're just like helping him out to be even more ahead of us. And we didn't even draw the horseman hand. I'm not even talking about like critical Starship pieces. Corpse Explosion, a Wild Pyro. Wild Pyro is a little more important for us, right? Considering his huge Starship. A little more important. Has a Will of Death in his deck, as far as I remember. Okay, fine. Has a Will of Death, and and he's at 7 cards left. 6. Tries to find key cards while we we spend 3 turns just skipping stuff. Like we don't really have anything to play. Zero way to apply any pressure. We need draws. We need draws because like 1 card is not enough. Like for example, 1 card of an Arkonite defense crystal is kind of like not enough for us to get ahead on the board. 3 cards left for him. Orbital Moon is just like GG. Orbital Moon is a GG. Because that is another pass. Let's see if he has a Will of Death. Like, if he doesn't have a Will of Death, Starship by itself just like doesn't concern me too much. The only cards that I'm actually scared of here is a Will of Death. And that's it. And maybe a really early Kil'jaeden, because we have 15 cards. He has like 2 left. You can draw all of them like this turn. Maybe an early Kil'jaeden is not like really bad, but like yeah, Will of Death is a nail in the coffin though. And just have 0 response so far for him. Ultra cover, no one cares. Summoner for a couple of 8/8s, really? Arkonite defense crystal, fine. Okay, let's let's do whatever we can here. Let's do whatever we can here. Let's give him some room. Deck is over. Kil'jaeden goes out. Will does. Nah. That is not the case. Zero pressure. He plays a Will of Death, like, on an empty deck without, without even having problems on the board. Not even like risking anything, right? It's too much. Next turn, a Kil'jaeden and this game is over. We, as I said, like in the beginning of the game, we needed to gather Starship much earlier than he does, and launch it and win out of it, right? The only like efficient board clear that he has is kind of like a Cis plus his own Starship. Those are like kind of like a few options that he has against a huge Starship by itself. But a Starship might just like win a game. But so, as I said before somewhere, a Starship just like can keep on summoning all of those 10 drops that summon a Death Rattle minion, and they can just like keep summoning Starships to the infinite if you're lucky enough, right? So I can see him. That is something that wins games by itself. That's a Mr. Ashman, right? Ashman Rock. You can do a guiding figure here, I guess. There's zero chance he has a backstab. On turn 2. At least. Let's do this guy. Let's get on the board. I don't really want like a really explosive turns in consecutive runs, right? He might just like go for one bounce right now. But yeah, it's highly unlikely though in turn 2 that he has a lot of bounces. Maybe it was a shadow stab, right? Or prep into like web spinner or whatever that is. Web of Deception, okay. There's a 4/4. Orbital Moon for us, okay. Let's see what happens. We need corpses, we need all the good stuff, so I'm fine here. To spend the whole turn just like, to gain corpse. Infested Breath will just like probably kill a Twisted at some point. Oh my god, well, I need to kill this dude probably. Okay, it's a 50-50, so... Nice. Okay, that is the only thing I was concerned of. 4/1 is none of my concern. This guy right there is a concern, big time. Hero power, nice. Sanguine Infestation next turn, kill 4/1. Goes for a web spinner, right? Again, yep. Web of Deception. Well, I'm glad I actually won a 50-50 here for Harmbringer, because that would be just like, we have 0 board clear so far. 0 those. Okay, looking good for now. Turn 5, when we are kind of like okay on the board. turn 5 and we are Gucci out. Cannot kill a second one. And Yore probably goes out. Those leeches will, you know, will suck a lot of damage in, right? Sandbox, fine. Twisted, okay. Nightmare Lord Sadness. Not something that I'm like, you know, concerned of. We need win. Let's go with the Nation of Yore. We have a board clear here, so we are fine outside. He kinda like, you know, he can have like an explosive turn right now, we'll just like clear it out. There's a Twisted, okay. Hero power, not even an explosive turn, okay. It feels like he has an Ashamon in his hand. He didn't have enough mana this turn, right? He'll play it next one. Next turn, Ashamon. So we kind of hope for a top deck of a Kil'jaeden, right? Top deck of a Kil'jaeden. Has corpse explode. We have corpse explosions in our hand.
I'm thinking.
Maybe we should try Nightmare Lord Sadness into Kil'jaeden. 2 mana after. Hero power. 5 from here. No, I don't really like that. Okay, fine. Fine. If that's an Ashamon right now, well, I hope to get a Kil'jaeden out, but we'll burn in such a case. What? Dark Templar, really? Really, a Dark Templar? What is this card doing in your deck? There's some kind of like Protoss? Interesting. Okay, I see it. That's much easier for me if that's not an Ashamon. Much easier. Because turn 7 and I'm still like, you know, alive. And you should be fine with whatever you do.
Now this is treasure.
Sandbox, let's go. No, he has an Ashamon too. For 6 cards. Interesting.
I ain't talking.
Painful. Painful. Okay, we just need to destroy Nashima, right? It shouldn't be a problem. Let's go. What do we have here? The Wild Shield of Infuri. Oh, a couple. I guess the Guiding Finger is just like, you know, just dead. Let's go with a Chillfallen here. This is kind of like a nice turn, let's say. What is this one? 3-2? Fine.
My hand is too full.
Oh, minus another Templar. Interesting build, by the way. Ashamon mixed with a Protoss. What did you substitute? Oh, card draws, I guess, right? So you're just all in on simply top decking in Ashamon, okay? Okay. And so you're fine. As long as you don't really have my corpse explosions or Kil'jaeden, I'm fine with whatever you stole. Imagine him stealing a horseman's head there. Just a card that hangs out there, right? Doing nothing so far. Shadow stack, okay. What do you want? For discounted price, what kind of buy drop do you want right there? Not sure. It's not my card, it's Fallen Cannon, okay. Goose face. Okay. We don't even need like to play anything, right? Like, I mean, to play any board clears. He has board clears, I guess, be my guess, right?
My hand is too full.
Minus an Artemis, okay. Well, Artemis would be helpful for you, I would say. But I guess he doesn't have an Arc one anyway, right? Anymore. He should have like what, one more High Templar, probably. No one actually runs both of the Dark Templars and both of the High Templars using. Okay, thank you for the clear, I would say. Metal detector. Destroys a straight to you? Why? You could kill it with glitches. Could kill it with glitches, And Ceaseless was in our hand before Nashamon, right? But he probably has something like either Corpse Explosion, maybe Kil'jaeden, not sure. I can't think that he has. Like, he has still 10 cards in his hand. Like in his deck, right? Still a couple of health from us. Well, just to be safe, we still have to, like, you know, do a Corpse Explosion here. Just to, you know... We can do a Durag by the way before we do that. Can try to get a Kil'jaeden out or a 1-1 here. I'm not sure like what he wants. Maybe a Shaladrizel, right? Shaladrizel is somewhere in his deck somewhere, you know, probably.
Beat them all, and they will fall.
Okay, let's do that.
This is treasure.
Unfortunate. That's really unfortunate, Harrison. Okay, let's see what is up. Eight cards for him, 9 cards for us, right?
This treasure ain't fit.
There's a Sandbox,
How long can you hold?
Sonia. Okay.
Now this is treasure.
Okay. Explosive turn right there, right? Explosive. I'll go with the second one. Now we're kind of ready, right? Now we're kind of ready to launch. We have only one Starship piece, you know, left in our deck, which is an Arkonite Defense Crystal. Don't really care about that one.
Now this is
Well, and a Guardian Figure, right? We have a Guardian Figure too. Shaladrizel, interesting. A Dream for a 4/5, okay. It's not a corrupted one, interesting. Nightmare. Shouldn't be enough. Hold on, that is exactly enough, right? Dude, each time they find this like weird, you know, by playing badly, they still find like some weird Shaladrizel. Lethal overall. Arkonite Defense Crystal was obviously a mistake. Like, if I knew That he has a Shalandrazil and like the full combo to make it like cost less. Like I would probably consider something else, like obviously, but fortunately you don't have the cards, like don't have the vision zone. Maybe it was safer, right? You're kind of like winning a game big time. Maybe it was safer to do so.
You get back to work.
Against the DK. They're red out. This is out. Ancient of Yore is probably in. Oh my, Menagerie? Really? Haven't seen this one in a while. Yeah. Losing against like this kind of Esham on rocks is always painful. Because they should lose each game. Playing like this. What do you want? Full board clear next turn? Soulbound Spire now? Yeah. We'll do this for now. We have a Wild Pirate plus like, plus a Poison Breath. I'm not sure what he wants to give a Reborn to. Maybe Dreadhounds, right? Dreadhounds and Chillfallen. That's about it. What is with a Death Rattle for 4 for him? I don't have a clue. If he didn't play it this turn, whatever with Death Rattle has, I don't believe like he has anything so far, except like a top deck. Here's the top deck. Oh, so that's what it was about. So he has an amateur, right? Oh, nice hit, man. Nice hits. You just like have an extra 2-drop this one. Well, fine. I'm kind of value my coin here. There's an amateur, obviously, okay. Why did you play Quiller in such a case? Is that kind of like a weird, what was it called? A weird deck with still Menagerie Jack, but with kind of like this, right? Not sure. You have 4 health extra from this if you want. Have almost a full. Almost a full. Can I defense? Can I even kill it? Maybe we should just play it like this. Not overcommit, kind of like still value my coin here. Right? Or like 4 extra health is okay. Not sure. Not sure. I kind of want to leave that out. He'll probably play a 1-1. Now let's see what's up. Maybe he's just like stuck with a lot of buffs in his hand. That's nice. Goes face each time. Zero cares about a Guardian figure here. He still hopes for a high roll. Yet again to snipe, right? Amateur, let's go. 3 cards left in his hand. Guardian figure, yet another one. We need to place it out, right? Need to place it down. Launch and win. Yeah, sounds like a reasonable plan. Sounds like a reasonable plan for me. To launch and win. We still have a coin to activate. He will play something probably, or remove it in some way. I'm not sure like what kind of list he runs, but he should probably like play something. We will kill that one, launch and see what happens, right? Exodar would be probably a perfect top deck. Let's see what is up.
I have but little time.
A spinel, okay. Well, he didn't even have that many minions. Oh, okay. There's a 10-12 one. Well, when I think of it, maybe I should just like kill him. It's his second Quiller. There's too much damage on the one, I would say. We're at 15, we're kind of fine. He shouldn't be able to have direct damage into our face here.
Can't this thing dance any faster?
Okay, much better. It's much less of an aggro. You know. much less of an aggro. Corpse explosion. Well, no one cares about that. Okay. Okay, looks pretty good. Yep. Instant win, as I said. Okay, that's much better, right? Much more solid, I would say. I guess in Ashaman, it feels like I had a way to win. It feels like, well, you know, that's a problem as a last turn. Like, knowing what he had, we had a better turn. Like, I know that for sure. We had a better turn, much more safer. Like, all that good stuff. But, oh well. Well, it felt like a sloppy game, right? He didn't, like, he went out without even spamming the board. On turn 6, he had 0 tempo, being kind of like a tempo deck. He burned all of the Protoss cards that he ever put in his deck. He gave away an Ashaman. He had to lose, but had to be punished for it. I guess that is probably what makes it so uncomfortable, right? Kind of, you know, a guy deserves a punish, but just like didn't happen. Bullshit. But it just like didn't happen. Against another DK. Maybe Nightmare Lord Xavius is fine, Red is probably out. Brittlebone is fine. Let's see if that is a menagerism. Here's another Red for us. Ancient Yore, okay. Maybe we'll get away with a Brittlebone here. Morbid Swarm is still not playable, Creature of Madness. He might have a charge for 3, right? From this, and that's about it. Double Draghound is not playable. Let's go. Maybe we'll get away with this one. Should be possible. Maybe it's some weird FFU. Who knows? Like, you know, for with a 3 damage spell. Maybe that is a SAC DK, right? An old version. Okay, we got a win. That's fine. That's all I need. Like an extra Soulbound Spire, and that's like, you know, should be fine by itself. Double Battle Cry, right? Okay. Yep. Goes in. Fine. Let's go. We had to destroy it because he might just like buff +2. That would be an annoying creature. That's 2-2-0, right? Oh, another Starship piece. That is a huge hurdle. Nice one. That is a huge hurdle. 3 damage to a card. Okay. Oh man, full board clear. Full board clear. 6-6. That completes it, but we need a trigger, right? We kinda need a trigger. Okay, let's fight it. So. Here's a trigger for us. Against an aggro, this should be enough. We'll just like need a couple of turns. Corpsicon. Now we have to play this now. Because it could be explosive runes. I don't really want to waste an Arkonite defense crystal like this. It might soak much more damage.
The citadel stands strong.
Chillfallen fine. No one cares about his extra draws. All we need is just like enough room for this to happen. Sanguine Infestation. No one cares yet again. We don't have a trigger for Starship in such a case. We need this coin, right? This completes it anyway, so we can just like, you know, do a guiding figure, a launch, and a coin, right? Yeah. Should be fun. Should be game over, right? No, rainbow, okay. All we need is this to be done. Please kill it. Thank you. Now it's dead 100%. Nice. Nice.
The citadel stands strong.
Okay, time to win it, right? Time to win it.
Job's done.
Oh, GG. Time to win it. Instant concede. Oh my god, bro. That's what I'm talking about right there, right? Much better than sloppy start with this deck. As far as I remember, the first game was kind of like impossible. Oh, against a Will Warlock. Man, that is the worst matchup you could ever imagine for Death Knight. Any Death Knight. The only way for you to win this is to actually launch a couple of times early. And that's all I can think of, so to high roll like crazy like this. Infested Breath might be actually applicable against a tempo start from an Ashaman Rock. So I kind of want to live in, even though it's usually used in a late game as a trigger of something. But that might be just good enough. Oh, maybe that is the game. Or we can, you know, get away with this.
Muzzle their magic.
That's unfortunate. Okay. Well, you know, maybe later. Maybe on turn 4. Maybe later, maybe on turn 4. Do we actually go for a Chillfallen? Just like for a second? 3 damage into our face, though. Looks weird. Maybe he'll just skip. Who knows? I kind of feel like this is better. For us to find board clears, right? Board clears, Starship pieces. But we give him a coin.
I'm thinking.
The citadel stands strong.
For some reason, I think this is better. Let's just like do it anyway. For some weird reason, I think this is better. Now the cold nearby, okay? That's pretty good. Destroy both in such a case. 3 mana though. Tough choice. Sanguine. Well, Pyro. Let's go. Brittlebone plus a Soulbound Spire after, I guess. Now let's hope for it to stick. Well, it depends on what kind of, like, you know, hand he has. If he has a temple right now, or if he just like simply skips a turn. It doesn't look like a skip for me, right? It doesn't look like a skip. Oh my god. Strong. Strong. Well, we have a full board clear, I guess I have to do it. Show mana's bounced. Let's do this for now. Probably a Brittlebone. Till I'm more annoying on the board. Strong, my god. How do you get him? Oh, from this guy, right? Interesting. Buccaneer was a +4/+5, right? Yeah. Interesting. Dibs purchase. Okay. Not too bad. So 4/7.
Just
6/9. Get a copy of the lowest cost. Here's a guardian figure for you. No problem. Okay, now we have a board clear. That is nice. That is nice. Do we have to develop a Starship piece here, or just an Ancient of Yore? The answer is probably an Ancient of Yore, but I'm not sure. Let's go with that. We just get this 10 health going for us. Maybe another Ancient of Yore will be even better for us next turn. Something like a Guiding Finger plus an Ancient of Yore. Lucky Comet. Hold on, there's not an Usherman, as far as I remember. It's kind of like it was a Lucky Comet. It's Cold Nearby, Creature of Madness. What is this card? This was something like a... I played something like this at some point. Feels like it's a Protoss, but I'm not sure. It's a Protoss variation. It's kind of like a Tempo. Nightmare... No, it's still an Usherman with a Nightmare Fury. Still an Usherman.
Remain silent and
Get him. Come on. Oh, that is a sinking. Let's go. Where'd you get it? Oh, that's sinking from Nightmare Fuel. Nice. I didn't like have this lecture for 5 extra mana though. Hey kitty, how you doing? Okay, we have a deal that you don't eat the mic, right? You remember that, I hope. Hope you remember that. We can destroy the whole board
I'm thinking.
with a corpse explosion, right? But that is our last board clear. I don't feel like doing it. Headless Horseman gives us a removal of a 7/3. Guiding Figure plus a Sanguine, by the way. It's not really bad. Guiding Figure plus a Sanguine, not really bad though. Let's go with it. Let's do this for now. Okay. Here. Don't need the mic. Don't need the mic. That's a lot of damage, but we're kind of fine here. It's 35 HP. Looking good so far. Corpse Explosion clears. Corpse Explosion clears. Have 3 mana left. 4. Don't like that. Do we have another way? No, not really. It's kind of like what we have to do, right? Still have a guiding figure like in his hand.
I'm thinking.
Oh, I hate it though. I guess we have to do this. Do we try to be greedy here for an extra Soulbound? Yeah. I don't really want to be greedy here. To leave it for Brittlebone here. We just like, you know, we just have to do another Starship piece and we're good to go here. By itself. Without a Brittlebone, without an Exodar, without anything so far.
Rot number 802, welcome to the collection.
This treasure ain't
Well, that is, you know, that is a sign that he just plays everything he has and tries to win out of it. I guess that is a good sign for us, right? I guess that should be a good sign. The only problem for us is we don't really have like efficient board clears here. That is like the only problem that I see. We do this, we do that, and we do this obviously. And what else? We destroy a 4/3. We got a board clear now. Let's destroy this guy, just like to prevent as much damage as possible. We don't really care about his balances. All we care about is just to remain with as much health as possible and just finish the game. Okay, this is annoying. He will draw a lot.
ain't fit for our pirates.
This is annoying that he will draw a lot.
Mysterious
Doesn't matter.
your wisdom.
Rot number 802.
Okay, that is annoying. There is another 2 draws. Dagger Master, yeah, not much. I guess an Ashaman is ready, right? Guess an Ashaman should be ready in his hand or he's dead. But there are a couple of 1/1s here. Don't really like them. Yeah, he wants to, you know, clear the board at least a little. But it will not give you a space, because now it will consume some space. Destroy liches. Okay. Destroys a couple of liches this way. One damage here, one damage here. Fine. Interesting. Like, he basically says, do whatever you want, right? Basically says, do whatever you want, though.
Land ho!
Okay. Fine. $11. Okay. What do we want here? Maybe Headless Horseman? A couple of Dirty Rats, maybe?
Let me think a second.
Let's go. Yeah, maybe a one Dirty Rat. Because it might be a red trap. Let's prevent the draw, and we're good to go. Here's a red trap. That's nice. Tall guys, okay. Not too bad. Backstab into 2-6. Okay, we can't need an activator right now, right? Something like a normal moon. Or an Exodar, obviously. And we can go for actually trying to find an Exodar here from Nightmare Lord Xavius. But I would rather, like, you know, launch as fast as possible. And we need to draw, it says. If that's an Usherman, that is like the only steal that helps him out. Okay. That's a board. You know, that's a board. Horseman hand, okay. Kitty, how you doing? Well, that's a trigger, right? That's a trigger. That's a trigger. But it's not like, you know, I kind of want to clear the board first.
I'll beat them all.
We can play Durad for one. Just to, you know, well, it's at least 75% to draw, to drop a minions that we have zero concern of, right? So it's better for us to actually draw. So we do this. And we probably do an Ancient of Yore because it's more mana efficient. We hope for a top deck of an Exodar. Didn't happen, okay. Orbital Moon. Fine. Well, if that is not a top deck of an Usherman, I don't believe, right? It's top deck of a Bones. Shadow Stab, okay. Couple of good boys right there. Has still one Shadow Stab left in his deck. And that's it, right? You know, as a bonus. So he has 2 Usherman's max. 2 Usherman's max here, okay. Well, I kinda need an Exodar. But if we take away at Ceaseless, the game is over. Even if he top decks an Ashaman, the game is pretty much over. I guess this is better. Like, even though this is juicy as whatever, let's just do that. Let's just do that. Kitty, what is up? How are you doing? Let's do this for now. And corpse. Not really interested. What was this one? Fast glitch. Let's probably get a 1-1. Nah, I don't really want a 1-1 on the board right now. What was this one? Wild Pyro. Okay. Still need an Exodar. Arkonite, Defense Crystal, and an Exodar. 2 out of 3 lost cards in our deck. Being a Starship, right? Being Starship Destiny. Let's see what is the top deck. Oh. Well, I guess, you know, an Ashaman that cannot win with an Ashaman, right? As soon as we empty our deck from whatever, you know, he's looking for to steal with an Ashaman, I guess that is an instant game over, right? Okay, that was a pretty nice run. Despite a sloppy start of this deck, the overall performance was, I would say, pretty solid. There was one game that you should never win against, like a Will Warlock, like usually. It's kind of like not even close. As I said, like the only possible way for you to win against a Will Warlock is for you to have a really early and a huge Starship and win out of it. For them not to have to be able to actually clear that off, and that might be just like the only way for you to actually win, you know, finish the game in your favor. But against an Ashaman Rock, usually it's kind of like that simple as the last game. The first game was kind of like all over the place, and it felt like I was like, you know, losing a grasp on what he is about to do, and it felt like I actually, like, you know, missed something that he had in his hand, and it turned out to be a Shoulder result that actually won him a game. So yeah, well, as I said, like before, any other game was kind of like a walk in the park. But as far as this right now, I kind of like the new additions. I kind of like the addition of an Infested Breath. It helped us out in an early game, helps us out in like a middle game so far. And even for a late game, it's kind of like a really good activator, so I guess it's a really nice addition. I enjoy like having all of those draws, but sometimes you just like don't draw them by themselves, and that kind of like can become a problem, right? Well, as probably in any other deck. Headless Horseman is a questionable card so far. I don't really I don't really believe it's kind of like this necessary. Maybe just like a simple Brittlebone Buccaneer added in your deck is kind of like more than enough. But if you probably face a mirror like against another Starship like Death Knight, for example, this card will probably do the difference, but not against any other like matchup as far as I remember. But it's a huge removal. Sometimes it's just like applicable like this, and sometimes it's just like a heal for 5, so you know, it's not like this bad. But for now, if you're still watching till that point, make sure to like, share, and comment. Like, you know, make sure to sub. Don't forget about that. And maybe check the join button. Maybe you'll help out a streamer with a coin. If you want a direct help, like, you know, you can find a link in the description of the video. But for now, that is it for a BBU Starship Destiny.